Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Gauntlet. I am very excited today to welcome Grandmaster Arturs Neiksans to the show. Arturs, how are you doing today?
Thank you, David. I'm feeling excellent. Super excited to be the part of your brand new show, and I've been waiting for this for quite some time.
All right. So everybody, one thing I want to tell you, it's not the most important thing about Grandmaster Neiksans, but he is also a streamer. And so we have this follow command you can hit, and I wanted to let you know about his stream so that you guys can follow him if he does well today. If he does poorly, perhaps you can, just unfollow or something. But I think you will enjoy his channel, so I recommend that to you. And as people come in later in the show and ask if you guys could occasionally let people know about that, that would be very nice. I know at least one person in chat is going to be rooting for you, Marco Batman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Marco, he has played in a couple of my sub-Ls previously.
Yeah, he has also been waiting for you to come on this show. He's been excited, looking forward to it. So hopefully you can make him proud.
Yeah, I'll try. I mean, I study the rules, David. I checked very thoroughly. I have a strategy. I spent something like 2 hours trying to figure out the best way to approach this. So I hope you'll be amazed.
I'm looking forward to it. Part of the excitement with the Gauntlet, I mean, we tested it out, but I'm like, an IM who's not good at Blitz. And I am looking forward to being amazed. I'm looking forward to seeing Grandmasters take on handicaps that make me go, there's no way you could do that. And then somehow they do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you maybe crush Kostya's performance from last week.
Definitely.
For those watching, we've got a leaderboard up here, which shows you the top scores. Right now, we're in preseason for the Gauntlet. So we've got one score up there on the leaderboard. And the point of the preseason is to establish a leaderboard. So then when we get into the main season one, people will have an idea of what they're shooting for, how aggressive to be, what does it take to top the scores possible. And to score those points, there's this, whoops, my camera slipped. There's this list here, a menu of handicaps. Arturs has already perused it and has an idea what handicaps he wants to take. Before he tells us officially what handicaps he's taking, he'll get to, see and hear who his opponent is, because we're going to pick somebody from chat in a moment to be his first opponent. And if he, says, oh, I've seen that guy in a tournament of mine, they have this weakness or this strength, he can always take advantage of what he knows about you, just as you guys can take advantage of what you know about him. So that's how you score points in the Gauntlet. You pick as many things as you can from this list of handicaps. And then you have to also win your game. That's a prerequisite. But if you win a game, you get points for every single one of those handicaps that you've taken on. And there are 3 rounds to play. And then you get your total score at the end as those 3 rounds get added up. So, yeah, that's where it is. These are the rules. And I don't know if we can pick Marco as one of the contenders. I mean, he's almost too much of a fan of Arturs.
Yeah, he definitely won't disappoint me, I imagine. But I mean, it's your call, definitely. But the way I see, those rules are very important, but the most important rule for me is to win. I mean, I can try to combine as many these points as I want, but if I don't win the game, all of that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. My very first attempt at this, Arturs, I took on a huge number of handicaps to push it, including blindfold and time handicap. So I was playing blindfold, time handicap. At some point, I lost track of where some of the pieces were, but I just had to keep moving. And then, my opponent moved, and finally their pieces reappeared in my head, and I sort of knew where things were. And finally it came down to a fortress draw in the corner, with 1 pawn left and an opposite colored bishop or something like that. And I got 0 points for it, and I played with, I played with, all kinds of handicaps. I tried so hard.
It hurts, yeah.
0 points. All right. So I'm now going to take our first volunteer. You need to be somewhere between 800 and 1200 in rapid chess. So what volunteers do we have? I will give people about 30 seconds to volunteer, and then I will pick one of them to be your first opponent. Arturs, your name on live chess so they can challenge you.
It's the same. It's the same. GM Neiksans.
GM Neiksans. Yeah. Easy to find.
Mm-hmm. It's a purpose.
It's on purpose. Yeah. You're not trying to be hidden.
No.
Okay. So, who do we have between 800 and 1200 for the first match here?
Mr. Charlie is definitely pushing for Marco.
Oh, and sorry, one more rule on our side, Arturs. Once you start the game, maybe you could just take your headphones off so you don't hear me while you play.
Yeah, I can do that.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything useful, but it could distract you, and it's just, that'll probably be the easiest way.
I'm allowed to explain stuff, right?
Yeah, you can talk. So if you take your headphones off, you can still talk. We'll still hear you. Get some more of your reactions for our highlight videos.
If you're gonna scream like, "Oh no! What did they do?" I mean, I probably will hear it. I imagine.
Okay. It looks like we've got Marco Batman as your first challenger.
I just want to remind Marco tomorrow we have a Sabal.
Yeah, he'll be on your team tomorrow.
Marco,
are you under 1200? You're close to that line, Marco. I don't want to give you an opponent over 1200. That would definitely be cheating. And I've seen him. He's 1190. That's really tough. Really tough.
It's fine by me. It's fine by me. If it's within the rules, it's okay.
It's within the rules, so we're gonna go with it. So, Arturs, what handicaps would you like for this first game?
All right, let me explain my strategy first. First, I decided I won't risk with a blindfold. Maybe it's a wrong approach, but since this is the first time I am playing this kind of format, I feel the blindfold is going to be slightly too much for me because I just need to feel the rhythm. Maybe if I would be able to come back for another show, I could do this. Definitely what I want to include in the game is win under the 30 moves, because that is the biggest bonus from the other criteria. I won't move the king, which is 250 points. I will try to capture every 6 moves. I think that's actually pretty easy, actually, because I couldn't really imagine how do you play without capturing every 6 moves. But okay, I mean, maybe it's theoretically possible. I don't argue. Then I'll try to play without the promotion. I was thinking about this. Maybe if there will come a moment where I'll be forced to mate after promoting, I'm ready to take this as a penalty. I'll promote whatever, but I just want to try to get to this point. I wasn't sure about this, so no promotion is going to be enforced. No en passant, so I don't think it's really that important. And if it's a penalty, then again, it's not really game killing. And finally, the final is rooks get 5 moves each. So if I don't win the game in 30 moves, if I don't checkmate, I find it very hard to imagine to break this rule. So that's for game 1. Game 2, I'm going to explain later.
Okay, wow. That is a lot of handicaps. I don't know if they're even going to fit when I try and display this here. Let's see. Can't move king. Must capture every 6 moves. Now that we've got GMs on the show, I may need to, change my format to have space for how many handicaps you can take on. No en passant.
Yeah, so mainly the strategy is going to win quick. Everything else doesn't matter. So I thought actually that would be weird. For example, win in under 30 moves. Let's say don't move the pawns by 2 squares. It just doesn't compute together. So I need to play aggressively.
Yeah. All right. I got to try and I do have to try and adjust the look a little bit so people can actually keep track of your handicaps during the game. All right, I think I've done it. Okay, it looks like they can read it. All right,
Mm-hmm.
very nice. So one last thing to say before we launch into things is that, as you guys can see here, we are raising a prize fund for the Gauntlet. There is a pot which grows every week. Last week, $135, or over this past week, we raised $135 for this pot. Any donations you make during this show in the next hour go into that pot. Same thing when we do another episode, and that pot will grow and grow and grow, and at the end of preseason, will be divided 50%, 30%, 20% to the top three scores during the preseason. And eventually, we'll make a second pot for the main season, and that will grow and grow and grow. And the only way to get the pot during the main season will be to set a new record on the leaderboard. So that pot will be sitting there growing and growing throughout the season until somebody, wins it, and that'll clear it, and then we'll start over with the next week. So, all right. If everybody is ready to go, the command is 10 minutes plus 2 seconds. Marco Batman versus GM Neiksans.
Alrighty, then I'll keep also my window open of the rules. I hope I won't get banned by chess.com by switching between the windows, because I'll constantly check what do I have to follow. So,
Right. We'll be checking on him too.
I'm taking off my headphones now, right?
Great.
All right, and I'll try to explain some things, but Marco, please mute it, because I'm going to explain my GM strategy. I don't want you to hear.
Silence, Marco, silence. You can't listen. That's too much of an advantage. You know what his handicaps are. You can use that to your advantage, but no listening to the GM.
Okay, I'm starting, right?
All right, it is on. Excited to see this. I actually happen to have a game of Marco Batman versus Mr. Disco here in the background already. That's just what I happened to already be on, you guys. Look, this was the last game I'd looked at from a previous tournament. All right, but they are starting to play, and here comes...
how do I not mess it up?
How does he not mess it up? All right. He's calculating really far ahead already on move 1.
I'll try to play it very aggressive.
Whoa. It's going to go very
I cannot
aggressive.
move king. Bummer. I forgot that.
Can't move king. Bummer. Yeah, that's what you picked, man. You're a GM.
Yeah. I need my queen, obviously. What was the other rule? I need to attack, obviously. I'm not interested to trade queens. No promotion, no en passant. Okay, I guess this should be good.
All right, he's got his whole GM strategy for the whole game in there, right? Knight f3 should be good because he's trying to get aggressive, get his queen into the game, not trade his queen.
This move I like, actually. Let me check if I'm not missing anything. Must capture. Oh, okay. Must capture. I completely forgot about this rule. Oh, okay.
All right. Now he's got till move 9 to capture again. Or move 10. That was a capture on move 4. So he's got till move 10. And normally in normal chess, you would see a GM play knight d4 there, obviously, in 0.1 seconds. But Arturs is spending a little bit of time on every move. And his strategy is to take on tons of handicaps, but then use the 10 minutes to keep track of all of them and find his way through this.
The biggest problem could be can't move the king. I'm not sure if I needed to include this rule because I need to castle.
Yeah. Can't move the king. He's got to watch out for a random check. And he also is going to have to get his rooks into the game really fast without the normal way of getting your rooks into the game being castling. So he's taken on a lot in his first one here. Very, very ambitious play. And he's playing for a potential total, folks, of 1,025 points. You know, that would be 2/3 of Kostya's total just in the first round here. It's 300 points more than what Kostya aimed for in the first round last time. If you guys check for a second, the leaderboard, you can see that Kostya started off with 725, then 525, then 400. So he's going for 300 points more. Here's an aggressive move. That's the kind of move that he may need in order to win in under 30 moves. That's a big one here. Win in under 30 moves.
Okay, knight c6. Hope I'm not breaking in a rule there again.
Has not broken any rules yet. Yeah. He's good. G4 is good as a way to get this rook involved. Makes sense. I mean, it looks like a terrible pawn hang, right, to two different pieces while letting black develop. But it's kind of just what the doctor ordered, I guess, or what the GM ordered as far as possibly developing this rook without castling. And Marco is just not interested. It's dangling there for this bishop. All right, there's a capture on move 8. He's got till move 14. One of the difficult things with this competition, if you take a lot of handicaps, is keeping track of all of them yourself.
Okay, this is tricky. This king.
This king's in his way, yeah. Yeah, so far Arturs is the only contestant to not take a time handicap as part of his strategy. He's the first person to not take a time handicap. So he's really focused on working really hard to meet these criteria. Frankly, I'm certain that if I'd taken on all these handicaps he did, I would forget one of them at some point. Like, I really struggle if I get to more than, 3 or 4 things to keep track of as handicaps. Oh, you want to see the points over here on the side that these things are each worth? Next to the handicaps that he's picked? Is that the suggestion, Sombrero? That could be a good suggestion for our production here.
Obviously, I need to keep my queen on the board, otherwise I cannot finish the game in time.
Mm-hmm. Kostanek says that from the perspective of the 800 to 1200 player, would playing a really tradey opening be a good strategy? And I think, yeah, that makes sense, right? I mean, Arturs has told us that he's trying to avoid trades.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable what he says of this move.
What is this?
Well, next
Artur,
capture
did
by
you
move.
forgot my bishop there on c1?
Oh man, he's not proud of his student right now. He should just be focused on winning, but I think for a moment there he's like, what is my student doing? I thought he had no chance of doing this, but I'm now thinking that he has a chance. I think he's got a very good chance. I would bet on him now to be able to win this game by move 30, even with all these handicaps. With that free queen, now he's threatening bishop f6. Marco's at least got to stop that.
So obviously I'm racing against the clock. I like this move because this allows me to play bishop f6.
Very happy to get in bishop f6. Thrilled to get in bishop f6, for sure. Now, the one thing he has to watch out for is his king actually can't move. So normally in this position, you would move your king because on g6, I mean, g6 from black, you want to play queen g5, but you can't allow knight f3, right? And you want to get your queen into those dark squares. Normally, you would just castle queenside to get out of the way of knight f3 and the rook on e8. That's the one thing that he is not allowed to move his king. So he's going to have to figure out some way to get his queen to g5 and h6 without allowing this knight f3 move. Oh, I've got an idea what he might play. We'll see what the GM comes up with, but I have one idea of what the next move for white might be in this position. But Arturs has his 6 minutes here. It's a great time to spend a lot of time, I think, if I'm understanding his strategy. Oh, knight g6 last move instead of pawn g6 was maybe a good defensive idea from Dor. Saying if you know what your opponent's handicaps are, maybe you play this move knight g6 here. Really, really blocking that checkmate. And after they take, you can play a move like bishop takes e4 at some point, right? And you're just looking for a discovered check on the king who's not allowed to move. So you could actually ruin the GM's day with something like that. All right, queen f4. The queen's looking at h6. But right here, queen h6 is not a threat because knight f3 would basically win for Marco. I was thinking, my idea here was that Neiksans might play rook h3 to cover the knight checks. That's what I was thinking of here. It was the idea I had. We'll see what We'll see what he thinks. All right, knight comes back here, challenging the dark squared bishop. Okay. Might make sense. See what the GM wants to do here. This is an awkward moment. He brings out the other rook. Okay. He has played 4 moves without a capture, so he's got 2 moves left to capture. Oh, he's probably happy to see that. He gets a capture, and now he can play h6.
I forgot about the capture rule.
He'd forgotten about it for a moment. So even a 2600 GM, it's like a lot to keep track of everything. He's confirming to us, but he's managing to do it. All right, so they're at move 20. I think an interesting complication that Marco could have tried here is bishop takes pawn, and then if knight takes, then play knight takes bishop, right? Using this e-file stuff. But okay, he's gone for something else, and Neiksans is covering up with f3. That's a very useful move, very much needed. He's got till move 25 to capture and till move 30 to checkmate. It is move 21. I would bet 80% at least on Arturs here. But here again is where you need time to really calculate that you checkmate. You know, if you get queen h7 and the king goes out to f6, e7, d7, c8, you won't be able to reorganize the white pieces in time to give checkmate. So even with that queen hang, I would say it's not 100% guaranteed that he wins here. I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? Is there still a hope for Marco, or do you think, oh, extra queen, it's over? I don't mean a hope for Marco to win the game. I mean a hope for him to get past move 30 or make Neiksans violate one of the rules. The way you could lose as black is to start throwing the spite checks with rook e4 check too soon, right? You definitely need to take your time with those. Oh, he's trying to lure bishop takes, knight takes. He wants to take away the escape squares on f6 and e7 from the king. He's trying to lure Marco into what he thinks is a bad move that will make it easier for him to deliver the checkmate. That is extremely sneaky. And what is Marco going to do? I mean, it seems like the GM wants you to take that rook. He's taunting you with it. Taunting you with it. You would think don't take it if he wants you to take it. Marco should use a bit of time and play something calm here. You know, something like rook from e8 to e7.
Obviously, I'm racing against the clock, so I'm trying to mate.
Yep. He's trying to mate. It's no surprise. We didn't need a GM to tell us that in this case. Oh, man, I'm so excited, guys, to see Arturs take this on. 7 moves left. He's at move 23. Dirty move by the mentor. Dirty move from the GM. GM's never promised to play clean. Oh, there's a strong defensive move from Marco. Oh, he's mad.
I missed that.
He missed it, and he's mad. And now you guys are seeing what GM focus looks like. This is determination right here.
I should have included the h-takes before 95. I felt I need to do that.
Oh, man. Now the rook's covering h6, and Neiksans has 5 moves left to checkmate. I don't think he can do it anymore. I don't think he can do it. Oh, I think he can do it. Oh, my God. That's a relief. He's relieved. He knows that it was slipping away. Oh, my God. Now, on king f8 would be the best defense. And then he still has to calculate. He's got 4 moves to give checkmate. So it's still tricky if black plays king f8. If black plays any other move, he's certainly got it. But now he should spend like 3 out of 4 minutes calculating here. Heck, 3.5 out of 4 minutes. He might need to go knight f6 to bring the knight back to d5. It's really not clear. Yeah, he does bring the knight. Okay, I think black can survive 4 more moves if they play the very best moves, but it's hard to find it. We're at move 27. Neiksans has 3 more moves to go. King tried to run. He's shaking his head. Knight takes e8 is move 28. Queen f6, 29. Rook h6, 30. Yeah, he can't get there. Oh my god.
I don't think I can mate in 3.
Okay, if you can't mate in 3, he's got to like collect himself and at least score all the other points possible. But it's not going to be an amazing total. But you got to at least, you know, get on the board and not mess anything else up. Slow is good, Joker. I mean, Neiksans has a plan here with the time usage. A good plan. All right, that's one move for that rook. It's got 4 moves left.
Where is Marco? He has disconnected for some reason.
Oh. If Marco disconnects, I will have to adjudicate the game, huh?
Oh.
Huh. Now I have to adjudicate in some weird way?
What
happened there? Problem. I don't know. That's really weird. Now I guess I sort of have to adjudicate the result of the game as the host, as the game show host. That's an awkward. That's one awkward.
I don't know where he disappeared. Maybe he is too loyal to me.
Yeah, maybe he was like, I'll just lose on purpose.
I'll just go right
on move 28. Maybe. But I think Marco's a pretty honorable guy. It was probably just like a problem. But he is young, you know. He's a kid. Kids, you know.
Right.
Don't always know everything.
To be honest, I don't think I normally should be able to score the mate in 30, but I deliberately played rook g1 with an idea. For example, if he tries to save the rook, for example, plays whatever rook, I don't know, rook h8, I play knight e5, and maybe he plays king e8 and queen e7.
Right.
So that was my only idea. But
that's
sure
a good idea. I think you probably
Mm-hmm.
still had like a 5% chance maybe that he blunders
Not
into
much,
mate in 2 here.
Not much. Probably I wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
Probably I wouldn't make it.
All right. Well, if I have to adjudicate it, and feel free to, you know, complain and, you know, storm off the show. But if I had to adjudicate it, I would say for sure you're going to win this game. For sure you successfully didn't move your king, captured all the time, didn't promote. You're not going to need en passant. You're not going to move your rook 4 more times. But you're not going to checkmate by move 30. So I would be inclined to give you all the points except for the last one.
Yep, I agree, definitely.
All right, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to score the first round like that, and that is, I'm going to go to my leaderboard show here. So here's the handicap scoring. And first round score of 425 points. And now we need a round 2 opponent for Arturs, somebody in the 1200 to 1600 range. It only gets harder. The gauntlet only gets harder.
Yeah, I imagine this rule of mating in 30, that was very, very risky, obviously. But I had to try. Really.
Absolutely. And we have just adjudicated you as winning that game, so I will now give you the axe throw for scoring a win.
Okay.
There we go. All right, the axe came through. We hadn't had a disconnect before, so I wasn't exactly sure when to throw the axe. But there we go. Victory for Arturs. We have a volunteer, Forsooth Plays. We have another volunteer, Seth. Seth has been in it a couple times. Smurberg volunteering. All right, Forsooth Plays is 1485. So Forsooth Plays, is that your chess.com username as well, Forsooth Plays? We would just want to make sure that you're ready to challenge Neiksans or that he's ready to challenge you. Yeah, okay. So his username is Forsooth Plays.
All right.
On chess.com.
Right.
What would you like to pick from the menu this time?
All right. So this time I'm going to abolish, obviously, the win under the 30. I thought my best chance is to try to do it in the first game. I knew it was risky.
Yeah.
So I think I was very unhappy. I was very unhappy when I didn't include h takes on g6. I felt I needed to include it. And as soon as he played h6, I knew there's not going to be a mate in 30.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm dropping that point. So I'm going to leave no castling.
Okay.
No castling, but that means my king can move.
Can move. Yep. Can get out of the way.
I'm gonna leave must capture every 6 moves. Although in the previous game I forgot at one moment, and I think I recaptured on 6th move or something like that. I was like, oh my goodness, what is the notation saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave no promotion. Oh wait, yeah, it was in the previous game as well.
Yeah, it was when he traded your bishop on f6 and you recaptured with your queen. It was like, okay, just in time. It was that,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, sorry. So no promotion again, right?
Yeah, no promotion again.
Okay.
Then it's pawns move only by 1 square. So no
Okay.
e4, d4s.
Right.
Only e3, d3s.
Yep.
And no en passant.
Yep.
I think it's
Pawns are never going to make it to the 5th rank anyway.
Yeah, they're not going to make it. Yeah, so I'm going to take it. Then I'm going to leave the rooks get 5 moves each.
All right.
I think that's also pretty safe rule. Now, this is going to be tricky. Bishops only move 1 or 2 squares. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I want to test it. It's 200 points, and I need those points.
Needs those points. All right, we're looking at...
And finally, the final point is knights cannot touch the rim. So rim is the final A and H lines, right? I understood it correctly.
Yeah.
What is the rim? That is the rim, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I've got no castling, must capture every 6 moves, no promotion, no en passant, rooks get 5 moves, bishops 1 to 2 moves, and no, and pawns only move 1.
So it's 7 in total, right? 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
4, 5. Oh, wait, 8. 8.
No, it should be
I counted
7.
8. Knights cannot touch rim. Bishops move 1, 2 squares.
Oh, yeah, knights
rooks.
also. Whew.
Yep.
That is a lot to keep track of. For me and for you.
For you. For me. As you can see, I'm not using this time bonus of 3 minutes. I need this time.
Yeah.
I need this time because it's difficult. Maybe with Mark I could have tried to use it, but I figured since it's the first game, I needed time definitely.
All right, guys. You can see that that Grandmaster Neiksans is going all out to entertain you. So let's throw a couple donations into the prize here. Let's throw a couple more donations into the prize.
All right.
I have to make my font smaller so people can even read everything you're going for. No, that's too small. Sorry. Tiny delay. Forsooths and Arturs, you guys can get ready. You can start getting the challenge ready for each other.
I'm removing my... Okay.
Good luck, Arturs. We're rooting for you. All right.
By the way, David, I'm still waiting for the challenge.
Okay. Forsooths, you can challenge GM Neiksans 10 minutes plus 2.
By the way, I see you have selected only 7. It should be 8.
Yeah. There's 8. It's just not all. I'm just fiddling with my spreadsheet. I never imagined anyone would try so much. Whew! Grandmaster Neiksans. Amazing. All right. Forsooths, he's ready for you.
Yeah, he just needs to challenge me.
Thank you to Seth and Smurberg for donations to the prize. You guys can see the prize for the gauntlet growing. Many thanks. You should challenge him, Forsooth. Yeah, 10-2. Or actually, I could just start the game for you guys, perhaps, with my powers. Let me see.
Just maybe make it so that it's impossible to cancel. This.
Oh, I did it.
Oh.
I did it.
Oh, just a second.
I threw them in the ring together.
Okay, I'm taking off. Okay.
All right. Neiksans is back at it. He's got 10 minutes to try and keep track of 8 insane handicaps. And I'm going to show you guys the chessboard on which they're playing. Game aborted.
Hooray, I win!
Bravo!
It doesn't count, right?
No, it doesn't count. Not quite. There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Back at it again. Here you guys see that. Sorry, guys, just a second. I'm going to try and take this advice from Sombrero and add in some points here so that you guys can see on the side what he's going for here. And then I will get back to commentating what's going on.
How do I capture?
Oh, he's got to capture every 6 moves with the slow-moving pawns. Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Bishop d2, bishop c3, bishop f6 doesn't count.
Yeah, it does. Why not? Oh, because his bishop can't move more than 2 squares. Here comes the knight to trade itself. Okay, he's got to use all of that every one of those 2,600 rating points to to find a way to trade a piece here in time. Oh my goodness! I mean, he's really set himself up for some difficulties here. The bishop thing is massive. Those bishops are so bad. Huge handicap. All in all, he's aiming for an absolutely insane 975 points against, you know, a real chess player. 4 Seuss is no joke. So thank you, Dordam, for the donation straight into the Gauntlet prize. Let's grow that prize. Let's bring in Ali Reza eventually, folks.
Just don't play. Oh! He could have played knight g8. This is not fair.
He was afraid most of knight to g8, but this move wasn't very fair either. He's got 2 moves left to capture something.
I could have played g4.
He can't play g4, that's correct. And even if he did, knight to g7 would ruin him. 4 Seuss is... I think at this point, Arturs should leave the capture and 6 moves behind and just focus on all the other ones. But perhaps I'm wrong. I mean, he's the GM. We'll see. I think if you play queen h5, you're not beating 4 Seuss. So as Arturs said at the beginning, you have to win the game. So you got to start with that.
Oh, this is a big problem.
Yeah, knight g5 takes f7 could be incoming, but I think that's risky. You're throwing maybe good money after bad, right? If you throw away your knight trying to keep the 6 move captures dream alive. 6 move captures and pawns only move 1 has been rated by myself and Kostya Kavutsky as a nombo. They don't go together well. If you can't play e4, d4 and stuff, you're not in position to make those trades quickly. Because, you know, trading pawns is the cheapest way to make some trades that don't lose you the game. Neiksans is suffering. 7.5 minutes on move 5. Oh, no. 1800 strength shows what an 1800 level player can do to you in a situation like this. On knight g5, black could play queen a5 check, right? Then just bishop d2, queen back to d8, and white hasn't done the 6 captures. Honestly, at this point, you might be putting Neiksans out of his misery if you make clear to him that he can't do the 6 move captures. Actually, knight g5, queen a5 check, you can then take the knight with the queen. An 1800 player might have been planning that even. Oh la la.
I think that's a bad combination, using the pawns by move 1 square and capturing 6. I just realized that.
Yeah. So even a 2600 player, you know, experience is going to play a role. You know, having never tried this format before, He's gotten himself into a little bit more than he bargained for here, I think.
I think I just have to make a penalty of capture every 6 moves. Otherwise, I see no way out of this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what I was thinking, Arturs. He's learning the gauntlet as he goes. He'll have to come back during the regular season with what he's learned. Because you learn so much. I mean, by trying it out. I mean, the first time I did the gauntlet, I had like the worst score of anybody with an early version of the gauntlet. The rules have changed a little bit, but essentially I scored something like 1,200 the first time, and then by my 6th run I scored like 3,600. And the rules are changed slightly, so that 3,600 you can't compare to whatever Neiksans scores today or whatever Kostya scored. But look at that, the bishop can't get to h5. Oh, he gives up the bishops.
No choice.
So this one is now in red. But he did get the capture by move 6. Did get the capture by move 6. Whew. All right, there comes the queen. He is now playing best case scenario for 575 according to my spreadsheet. Oh, but he may win the game very quickly like this. So he may just instantly get every other point. Well, maybe it was a good moment to bail out with that. Wow, now if only he had win in under 30, right? It would have compensated for this. Queen runs. He's got to choose between queen f7 and knight f7, which is pretty strong as well. I think he'll go for knight f7 actually. But we'll see. We'll see. Notice how much time Arturs is taking. He's not trying to show off by blitzing out moves or styling. He's willing to say, hey, I'm a GM because I can think really well when I spend time thinking. So I'm going to take on really, really difficult challenges and then think about them. A totally different approach to the gauntlet from anything we've seen before. Thank you, Stamen, for encouraging folks to add to this prize fund for the gauntlet. This is going to be growing over the course of the entire first season of the show. Right now we're in preseason. We're going to have a second pot for the main season, but every time we've got an episode of the Gauntlet, any donations you make will go to that prize fund. The other thing we're raising money for outside of the Gauntlet is Ultimate Sensei. And of course, if you ever want your donation to go to a specific project or event that you want to see us doing, let us know. And, his knight can't actually capture the rook on h8.
I cannot take the rook on h8 with the knight. Unbelievable.
Poor Arturs. Oh, man. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling bad for him. Oh, my God. Every time we think okay, he's figured out something good, a new element of suffering comes in. A new element of suffering. And Doris said that he had some queen e5 move at some point. So we should go back and see this. No, the knight can't go to the rim even if it's for a capture. With the no playing in the center rule, you can capture a piece in the center, but you can't move on to an empty square in the center. With the knight not being able to touch the rim, that's period. You just can't go take their piece on the side. I think I did it forgetting, but before I could do it, I flagged, so I didn't even win the game. So I didn't get the point penalty because I didn't get any points that time. 2 moves ago, now 3 moves ago. Okay, so it must be after the queen's here. And in this position here, Dordum is saying queen to e5, threatening knight f6 mate and queen takes rook. Actually a genius move. I think potentially missed by our genius contestant. And that shows just how many things are on his mind. I mean, because he's specifically taking his time to try and find these things. Okay, so he brings out a new piece with knight f3. Bishop d7, very careful development by Forsus. Forsus is absolutely trying to, like, turtle up and take advantage as best he can. There's an idea with knight g5 to go knight d6 check, king over, knight e6 check, bishop takes, queen e8 mate or something. But okay, he just starts off by taking.
I was checking my move count to be able to capture something in 6 moves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he was just keeping that 6-move counter going. I think it was nice to have the king on e8 where, anytime you wanted to, you had these checks available. That queen e5 move is a very sweet move from Dor. Yeah, absolutely. Next capture needs to be on move 17. And he can use this bishop like a normal bishop now that he, already broke the bishop's move 1 to 2 squares with the other bishop. So he might as well use it. This bishop's back to life. I see liked that bishop d7 defense. Arturs made life difficult for himself for sure. And Forsus is making it more difficult too. So there's no mercy for the GMs here, right? The gauntlet was designed as a chance for GMs to, stunt and, show off. But there's no reason that it can't also be a chance for normal folks to beat them up a couple times and then say, hey, I beat a GM. You guys absolutely can make them work for it as much as you like. I feel a little bit bad when I see them suffering, but there's two sides to every coin, right? If you guys can win a game against a GM, go you. Whatever abuse of the handicaps it takes, absolutely go for it. So of the remaining handicaps, which are going to be the hardest for him to satisfy? I would say the capturing every 6 moves is going to continue to be the most difficult.
I need to trade more pieces, otherwise I'll just miss the 6 moves.
He's got 3 more moves. He's at move 14. He's got 3 more moves. So he's very nervous about the 6-move capture thing. You can see he's very nervous about it. Missed a mate in 2, Marco. When? Yeah, he's capturing in a hurry. Now, I am no GM, but in my experience, you have to actually leave some of these things lying around. You see what I mean? Like, you need to play moves like h4, rook h3, developing your rook, and then leave that capture to make it on, like, the 5th move or the 6th move, If you burn your captures, it's like burning your tactical energy in normal chess, You don't want to do that. But here, I think what Neiksans wants actually is he's trying to encourage bishop b2 probably to get his rook developed without castling, because he has no castling, and rooks only get 5 moves. So if he tried developing the rooks like I suggested with h4, rook h3, rook g3, the rook's like half dead by the time it gets into the game. So I think he really probably was trying to bait bishop b2, like against Marco when he put the rook on d5, trying to bait knight d5. So Neiksans is not, above using his opponent's, strengths and weaknesses, trying to take advantage of their rating to get mistakes out of them. He's willing to lay a trap, set a bait, if that gets him the points. Good idea, JB. Let me do that right now instead of hosting. Copy link address. Go into Moobot. Donate.
I'm not sure, by the way, if the rule of penalty applies twice. I hope not, because I already moved with the bishop.
It does not. It won't apply twice. I wish I could tell him that. I'll give him thumbs up that he's right in case he's looking at his video. I want to comfort him. It's going to be okay, Arturs. You will get some points, maybe. He is allowed to move the bishop more than one square now that he's already lost those points. So I have to just let him simmer in the pain, JV. I don't think I've got enough, of a splash of sadism in my personality to handle being the host of this show. It's too much suffering for me. He could Castanik, but every handicap that you take and don't make is negative points. So let me show you something on his menu handicap for a moment. You can see he got negative 200 for the bishops. So that's already reducing how many points he can score this round from like 975 to 575, even if he wins the game and doesn't violate anything else. So if you go for all the handicaps and, do half of them correct and half of them wrong, then you're looking at scoring basically 0 points because of that negative factor. Yeah, there has to be a penalty. If there were no penalty, yeah, you would take everything and then just see how it played out. And you would get a good score that way, right? Necessarily, because you never know when you're going to get this or that to work out. So like any game that you didn't risk something or other but happened to not need it, you would end up getting points. So you could win and even score negative. No, I think the minimum points we're going to give anyone for a round is 0. But maybe you should host the show, Subtoshua, and make it like just an absolute bloodbath for the GMs where they score negative points. Maybe you could do that to them.
I could play King D2 automatic, but I need to remember that I'm supposed to trade every 6 moves. So I think Queen E7 makes most sense here.
I mean, he's just captured on move 19 and it's now move 20. He does not need to capture here, in my opinion. I hate to correct a GM or anything like that, but I'm absolutely certain he's capturing too often and too fast. And king to d2, I love to move my king in games where I've taken the no castling rule, because then I can stop thinking about not castling, I can just check that one off, put it in green. I want to get this one in green. So clearly the capturing every 6 moves is completely consuming him here. All right, now he has successfully not castled. We can mark this one in green and heave one small sigh of relief for Arturs. I don't know how much relief there is, though, because black's on a rampage now of taking things themselves and checking him. You guys think black should go for rook f2? It's not really in the style of what Forsus has done so far. So far, Forsus has played very, very carefully up to this point. Trying to be conservative and make it hard for Neiksans to hit his handicaps.
My biggest concern is getting into a position where I cannot trade anything. So I'm already, when it's becoming closer, I'm checking. Oh, thank you. Okay, this I'm happy because this allows me to trade.
Okay, he's happy to see it. Happy to see it. One thing that could play in Neiksans' favor at this point is Forsus clock.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Happy to see it. Suddenly Forsus is bringing out the very, very strong normal chess play. Rook sack, king up, rook f8 coming, counterattack. Now Neiksans also has to worry about getting checkmated, as well as about the handicaps he's trying to win with. All right, rook d1. Perhaps planning to play queen f8 in response to rook f8. Perhaps. One does not, Subtoshua. One does not. You just have to be there, be on top of things, know how to challenge our guest quickly. That's all you need. And right now, let's figure out who's going to be the third challenger so we can keep the show moving. All right, so who's going to be the 1600 to 2000 challenger? Game will start in about 3 minutes. Each of these rooks has moved once. So
I was more concerned about queen c2, queen a2. I wouldn't have the rook b7 idea. So this I'm happy to see.
He's looking for rook b7. The same tactic that Forsooth used against him, right? And we have to give a huge thank you, shout out right now to Stamen USA. A massive $100 donation. The prize fund, huge here after that $100 donation. The prize. We're calling the show The Gauntlet, and that, jackpot that grows over time, we're just calling it The Prize. And that prize is growing rapidly right now. And by the way, folks, if you don't have $100, which most people don't, you can just give $1. The point is partly just to have hundreds of us enjoying the show. We each give $1 and we get like a big prize fund, and then, Ali Reza and Hikaru show up to try and collect it. So you do not have to have $100 to donate, but thank you so much to Stamen, because that's going to go a long way towards getting us some exciting people in here. Last capture was on move 28, move 31, rook f1. Here comes the next recapture. I found the endgame is a really, really hard place to get the captures in. He's thinking for a while here.
I think it's move number 2.
Move number 2 for his rook. That's right.
Number 3.
Number 3. Counted it out. Rook's knight's trapped. And the last capture is on move 32. He'll definitely capture the knight before move 6, so we don't need to worry about that yet. But what Neiksans, I think, doesn't know yet is that when you get down to it...
Oh, I cannot promote!
Oh my god, he's got no promotion. I was going to say, even if you promote, you can't checkmate with a king and queen in 6 moves. So you have to capture, things along the way. His main chance to win is for Forsooth to flag at this point, I think. Otherwise, there's basically no way to do it, right? I mean, 5 moves, no promotions. What's he supposed to checkmate with? His rook's about to die. He's got no piece left that can actually deliver the checkmate. And he's got 3 more moves to make a capture. So king f2 to g2 makes sense to at least capture that knight. And if a4, use the rook to capture on b4. Oh no, Forsooth with a pre-move. This guy's too good. This guy's too good. There's nothing Neiksans can do really anymore, I think. You'd have to go for some kind of a pawn checkmate, but the black king could just hide on a1, right? And then you can never checkmate it. I guess it's got to be the last 2 moves of the rook. I think the rook has moved 3 times, folks. Does anybody know for sure how many times that rook has moved? I think a1 to b1, then b1 recaptures on f1, and then f4. Is his king in time to stop the b pawn? Yeah, so the rook still has 2 moves left. So he's going to have to try and maneuver his opponent into some position where the rook can checkmate it in just 2 moves. I think c5 here is one hope. c5, b2, king to c2 would actually checkmate. He's got a small hope. c5, what a move. Oh, but the king just wants to hide. The opponent knows. The opponent knows. Forsooth knows. He's got 15 seconds. Neiksans has 2 more moves to do a capture. So he might have to go rook b4 and take the pawn. And then queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, he's still got 1 move left.
4.
Oh, he should have gone to b4, though.
Rook f1, rook f4, rook f1, rook b1. That's move number 5.
Lucky!
But how I can win this without promoting?
Yeah, you can't, man. And you've got 6 seconds, so you're going to have to get over it really soon and promote. All right, let's count the 6 moves towards checkmate. 1, 2. I think he's got it. He did it. All right.
Oh,
that was
goodness.
insane.
Oh, my goodness.
That was insane.
That is so tense. I mean...
Yeah.
I think I made a strategic mistake by combining together move pawns by 1 square and capture.
That's been my conclusion as well, Arturs.
Yeah. And finally, I realized actually this every rook 5 moves, that's very, very difficult, because if the game is more or less close, like here, I missed those moves. I think I barely made 5 moves for the rook. I think it was rook b1, rook f1, rook f4, rook f1, rook b1.
You got it 100%.
I was hoping for the mate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, I think I did pretty good. But
yeah, you did. But it's tough, huh? Is it a little bit harder than you expected?
a lot more tougher. I thought I'm gonna take the bank. I mean, I'm gonna score the points big time, but those penalties, they keep kicking me back.
All right, I think we're probably going to use Sombrero as your last contestant if he's here.
Okay.
Someone's asking if contestants get to come back and improve their scores. Right now, how are you feeling, Arturs? Would you be interested to be on the show a second time?
Yeah, sure. Now I need to go and understand what do I need to do even to get some chances in this game, because I think I'll need more points. I'll need more points. I'll go all in, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So going into the last round, you have 800 points.
800 points.
Yeah.
So I need at least 800. Double. I need to double it.
Yeah. But you got to understand, Sombrero is a good player.
Unbelievable. What I'm supposed to do here? I don't know. Just a second. Okay, I'll tell you what
I'll let you think about it for a moment if you want to. You may have to just leave Kosti at the top of the leaderboard.
Go blindfold. I mean, I'm gonna murder myself immediately. Yeah. I'm not afraid to play blindfold and combine all of these points together. I mean, no way. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to play the Bon Cloud.
All right. Here comes the Bon Cloud.
I'm going to avoid the central squares.
Whoa! Fun.
So that's already something like 400 points. I'm gonna. Okay, this I'm not so sure. I'm gonna try to capture every 6 moves. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is risky. I probably need a promotion, so I'm gonna cross it out. I need to promote because, as you saw in the previous game, without a promotion, I mean, it's useless. So
yeah.
So en passant remains.
Okay.
I think I'll add knights on the edge of the board, knights on the rim.
Yeah.
How many points is it already? Technically, I can try to get.
Let me see. 75 there, 50 there, and 200 there. So you're already playing for 675 with 5 handicaps, unless I'm doing a bad job of tallying.
No, it sounds about right. What are, okay, let me check the options there. What were the options?
Yeah. And donators, Seth has promised to match the next up to $50 of donations to the prize fund. So if you donate $3, Seth will donate $3 as well. If someone else donates $6, he'll donate $6 up till the next $50 that get donated.
Right. So can't move the king doesn't really work together with the Bon Cloud.
Right, you don't get extra points for it. It's all. Oh yeah, it's impossible. Yeah. If you want to, we can allow you move the king once to e7 and then you can't move it anymore.
No.
But I mean,
no exceptions.
They're gonna come check you with a knight on d5.
Let me see. Okay, rooks get 5 moves each. How many is it now?
Okay, rooks get 5 moves each. That would be your 6th handicap, and that would be for a total of 800 points.
What was Kostia's score?
1650.
1650. So I need knights. Knights on the rim I already have. So at least I can technically try to overtake him. I need something more.
You could try 3-minute time odds once.
Okay. You got it. 3-minute timeouts. Oh, this is insane.
Not to coach you or anything.
This is insane. I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to even win the game. But...
No, I mean, I don't think you will, but good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Shall I start the game for you?
Oh, yep, yep.
All right, Sombrero, you ready? You see all of this? He must capture every 6 moves. You can torture Arturs, just like Forsooth did. When you came to trade knights and he played knight h5, it was just evil. No en passant, rooks
Wait,
get
just a
5 moves each.
second. Can I even do that? Can I play Bonkload and capture every 6 moves? Is it even possible? Just a second. I have second thoughts there.
Yeah.
If I play e3 and king e2, how do I capture?
You've got 4 more moves.
I have to give away a bishop, I guess.
Well, you could play d4, c4, trade a pawn in the center.
Yeah, but there's not going to be a pawn in the center of
And for the
this
Bong
thing.
Cloud, you can play e3 or e4, right? So you can get the pawn closer to where it starts trading for stuff.
Right.
Because you have pawns move 2.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it. I mean, I have to try.
What you did last time with pawns only moving 1 square and then having to trade, that's really brutal, I think.
Yeah, that is brutal.
That was tough.
I agree.
All right, so Sombrero's name on chess.com is Cartier
Wait,
Tank.
but I cannot use the center squares. Bummer.
Oh, no, but you can't use the center square, so you can't play e4 or d4. Oh, man.
Oh, dear.
You're making it too hard for yourself again. I'll give you another minute to think about it.
Just a second. Just a second.
No problem.
I can try to play instead of the Bonkloud can't move king.
Instead of the Bong Cloud, you'll do Can't Move King.
Yeah, because that's 100 points more, and it doesn't close the bishop. Not sure how it really helps me though, but
Okay, Can't Move King.
I think this is suicidal mission. I mean, I don't understand how I can play without the central squares.
The answer is you can't, but good luck trying.
I can't. No, listen. Just cross it out. I mean, just cross it out. I'm sorry. I mean, I just try to figure a scenario how I can trade without the central square. It's gonna be instantaneously penalty.
Yeah.
So can't move the king.
Yeah.
Must capture every 6 moves.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should really try blindfold. So how does it really work? Is it challenging me for a blindfold game? How does it work?
To play blindfold, what you do is you go into your live chess and you go like the settings, board and piece settings.
Okay.
Do you want me to screen share it to you for a second to see how to do it in Zoom?
I'll open it.
Okay.
I'll have to go blindfold.
It's basically under pieces style. You basically set your pieces to being blindfold pieces, and it just makes your pieces blindfold for you. Your opponent can still see the board.
Pieces. Just a second. Yep, I see it.
You click on
blindfold.
Click on blindfold.
Oh, it's gone. Unbelievable. Okay. Unbelievable. Okay. I'm going all in. Okay, so it's gonna be blindfold.
It's gonna be blindfold.
I just cannot combine. I tried.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do blindfold. Do you want to get rid of the 3-minute time odds?
Yep, definitely. I don't need it anymore.
Okay. So which ones do you need right now?
So I need blindfold.
Yeah.
Can't move the king. I'm gonna cross out. So it's gonna be Bonkloud.
Okay.
This is insane. No en passant remains. Knights on the rim remains. I'm gonna try to eliminate some of the not so important rules. Right, just a second. So it's a blindfold. Maybe I'm gonna do it like this.
Okay.
Instead of this, because it's blindfold, it's going to be difficult for me to follow. Instead of the capture every 6 moves, I'm going to do the bishops. I can do every 1-2 moves.
Okay. Because
So
the other's a lot to keep track of, right? The captures.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track. I'll be constantly trying to remember. So it's going to be blindfold. It's going to be bishops 1 or 2 moves. It's going to be bon cloud. It's going to be en passant, knights on the rim, and I think that's it. That's it.
All right. So that is still a total of 1,100 points you're going for.
Okay. Let's do this.
So let me just get all this right here. Bishops only 1 to 2 squares. Knights can't touch rim. Rooks get 5 moves. Bishops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So at least I keep the notations, right?
Yeah, you've got the notation next to you. I'm going to get rid of this.
It's been a long time when I practiced blindfold. This could be epic failure.
All right, I'll hide the leaderboard, and I will start the game for you guys.
Wait, guys. Somebody says, no, castling doesn't count together with the...
Yeah.
Maybe actually... You know, I'm sorry about changing this mind all the time. Maybe instead of bon cloud, no castling. It's only 25 points.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go...
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's...
No, that's fine. I'll change it. So instead of the bon cloud, it's going to be no castling.
Yep.
And it's only a 25-point difference.
Yeah, it's only 25-point difference.
So you're
but the
playing
king
for
need to
1075. And making Kramnik happy.
There's no rook rule. I think this is going to be difficult for me to keep track. It's already difficult to play blindfold.
Oh, so I'll drop the rook rule?
Yeah, it's not there. It's not there. I don't think I said... It's 5 only. Blindfold, bishops 1-2 moves, no castling, en passant, and knights on the rim.
Okay. So your bishops, your knights, and en passant.
Yep, I'm good.
Castling and blindfold. All right, we're good. We're good. I will get rid of the rooks from here. And I will send the challenge. All right,
Okay.
No castling. Bishops move 1 or 2 squares. Knights can't touch the rim. No en passant. And he cannot see where any of his pieces are. Good luck to Grandmaster Neiksans. Everybody cheer for him. And here we go.
Okay.
Wait. Sorry. And here we almost go. There we are. Boom.
Oh, bummer, I'm black.
Bummer. More torture, folks. More torture.
No castling. I guess I could play some sort of Sicilian.
More torture for Grandmaster Neiksans, everybody. He's going for the Sicilian. Dr. Chainsaw and Chaxis, thank you for triggering Seth's matching donations. Oh my goodness, this prize fund is huge. 367 just for coming on here and playing some Blindfold Blitz and suffering. Wow. Wow. Let us get the board up here and see this C3 Sicilian coming out. Sorry for the 3-second delay there, folks, and thank you for throwing reminders at me. I was aware I was just juggling many pieces here. And all right, C3 Sicilian from Cartier Tonk. You guys who know him pretty well know that this guy is a very aggressive player. Neiksans may or may not know that. The C3 Sicilian is sometimes played by very aggressive players, sometimes played by not aggressive players. So he can't know for sure just from this opening choice, depending on, you know, whether he's run into Sombrero Cartier before in some of our other events. He may or may not know what he's really up against here. And many thanks to Seth for convincing others to donate in that way. Brilliant, brilliant non-profit marketing technique used there, deployed by Seth. Yeah, he always playing that Alapin, yeah. Don't know if it's the best for him, but that's what he does. Neiksans in prayer mode here. Oh, that's right. He can't see the board, so there's no point in even looking ahead. That's why he's looking up to the sky. I forgot. There's a lot to keep track of. All right. I think it should be pronounced Neiksans. I think you're right, Marco. I should be working on that here. He's never corrected me. It's part of the problem. I've worked with him before. It's such a pleasure. And but he'd never told me, when we first met and worked on Ultimate Sensei. Some Hochdeutsch accent some days. Yeah. I do, Septashwa. My father is Deutsch.
I have to remember I cannot castle. So this is the biggest what's concerned me. So I keep coming back to the rules.
That's what he's worried about. So he can at least check his rules. He's not physically blindfolded, so he can see what rules he's working with. Hey, Atomic. Thank you for supporting Grandmaster Neiksans here. It is David Prus. And it's written correctly with an umlaut and an SZ. Properly speaking. And basically it just means that there was some guy from Prussia at some point in my family, right? And they're like, well, this guy doesn't have a job like shoemaker or cobbler. We'll just call him, Johann Prus, because he's from Prus. And then that became the name. You often see it spelled EU in the US and pronounced like Preuss instead of Prus, but I think it should be Prus. At least that's what my dad told me, so I don't know better than my dad. Wow, Marco pulling out the S set. Beautiful. Marco knows a lot of stuff for a young one. De somewhere or other, yeah. Except it would be like if the name JB were like de France, right? Because I mean, like Prus is like, Prussia is just like a whole country, right? So they're just like, oh yeah, I'm like Jean de France, meeting like, Anne de France. It'd be very, very boring. But they called her Anne d'Autriche, right? And yeah, sometimes the whole country will do for your last name. So at this point, you guys see Cartier starting to make some threats, and it should be apparent to Grandmaster Neiksans that he's up against perhaps an aggressive player, based on the variation that Cartier has selected here. Every Croatian kid knows German. Yeah, but Marco knows, like, I think Russian as well. And Marco's got, like, 4 languages, I think. Which is, like, a fantastic start. How do they say Dubois, Pennsylvania? You don't know Russian. Okay. I think you know 4 languages, though, Marco. Tell us again.
He still can't castle. That's a problem. Maybe I shouldn't have used it.
That's kind of the story of all of Neiksans' like handicaps. Almost every single one at some point he's like, maybe I shouldn't have taken this one. Especially against Cartier, who wants to just checkmate you in the center. Alexa with a funny comment. He finally figured out he's a GM. He can just play blindfold every game. It makes no difference. You can understand some Russian, but you don't speak it yourself. Croatian, English, German, Italian. There you go. I knew there was a 4th, Italian. Beautiful. Fantastic, Marco. The bishop rule is brutal. I mean, it's very much like being down material when your bishops are that bad. It's a huge hampering. And you see that we give it more points, right? We give the bishop rule 200 points, whereas like hampering your knights or your pawns is not worth as many points. That's really big, that 200 points. You guys think that Arturs can pull it off in this last game? Can he win a game while satisfying all his handicaps? Or has he taken on too many once again? King of Prussia, yeah. My family does not come from there. But all right, he's trading his knights and leaving the bad bishops. As Tafaska points out, strategy in the gauntlet, you want to trade off the hampered pieces if you can, right? Like you want to, see if you can interest your opponent in trading bishops when you've got hampered bishops. And conversely, you want to not trade any of your normal pieces, because the more you trade them, the more you get left with your bad pieces, right? Although his knights can't touch the rim, so he is trading hampered pieces of his. Ideally here, he wants to play like a rook or queen endgame, this time. Oh my goodness. There's a free piece for Arturs. He can just save his knight. He's blindfolded, so he has to figure it out. But that look on his face said that he immediately realized that this was probably a blunder. See, his bishop doesn't threaten the queen. White can play pawn takes knight. I'm not sure why he didn't save the knight. Maybe that's blindfolded coming in. Artur said he does not practice blindfold very much.
What?
And Sombrero's using all the advantages. He takes the piece and leaves the queen hanging. Oh, there go the bishops. Well, Artur's
I hope I didn't break any rules.
Sorry, man.
That was weird.
That was weird, yeah. The dude knew your bishop couldn't move that way. Well, Cartier's done his damage. He's taken...
Takes the queen should help.
Takes the queen will help. Yeah, you'll be winning this game up a queen, Grandmaster, but you won't be scoring that many points. The total possible points he's playing for now are 550, by the way. Because that is a 400-point penalty. Basically, minus 200 instead of plus 200 on the bishops there. I think that Sombrero's done about as much damage as you guys can do. If I were playing as a GM, I would think this is my chance to win a game. But, if you just ravage their score, that's already pretty good. How would that idea work, Falk? How would that idea work?
This should be easy win. I'm seeing the board quite clearly. I need to trade off some pieces.
All right. He can see the board clearly. That's good. That's a good start. By the way, folks, there's still $5 worth of Seth matching donations out there. So if anybody donates between $1 and $5, Seth will match you for increasing the Gauntlet's prize fund. It's already great. I'm very happy with where we are after here in only our second episode. We've got another episode this afternoon at 1 p.m. coming up. Let me send a message that I'm a little bit late because I've never seen someone take all their time on the Gauntlet before. So let me send a quick message to my next appointment.
I hope I won't blunder my queen somehow.
I also hope you don't blunder your queen, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can take the pawn on b4. The bishop or queen.
He's right. He could. Yeah, it's true. We've got more money than we ever wanted to, but there's no reason for someone not to collect that last $5 from you. So, yeah. There it is. $5.
So if my I think I see the position quite clearly. H2, G3, F2, Bishop E3, Pawn B4, short castle, Rook A1. I'm not blundering anything. And I can take the pawn on B4 as well.
Okay, so he took this pawn first. And now he's probably going to take the next pawn too. Tafaska, the handicap for queens that's available is queens can't capture pawns. That's the choice. So we've got different kinds of handicaps for each piece. Each piece you can, hurt in a different way. And the queen one is that you're not allowed to capture pawns with the queen, which creates, just a very different, weird dynamic, right? The goal was for all the handicaps to be a bit fresh and sort of change the way the game is played in a different way. Maybe also be a little bit hard for people to keep track of. So I know the guess for this afternoon, but you guys will have to tune in 1.5 hours to find out.
Rook b4, queen a1. I see that.
Oh, he sees it. Laying traps blindfolded. So actually he's playing without any trouble with the blindfold here so far. I would say mostly, except when queen a4 check came in and he didn't think of just retreating the knight. I think right there, I'm not sure if he saw that he could just retreat the knight. That would be such a good way to stay up a piece.
I'm going to simplify the position.
Oh, going for the simplification. All right, I don't mean to tease you guys too much, but I will say this. The contestant this afternoon is going to score more points than this. That's what I'll tell you. I guess that's just more teasing, but yeah.
Oh no, I forgot about the bishop move. Oh my goodness.
Rereading the rules 10 minutes later. The bishop.
Oh dear.
All right. Thank you, DM. Thank you, Seth. Look at this prize fund, folks. We're going to have no trouble getting some top GMs here in for this competition. And thanks also to, Kostya and Arturs and whoever goes this afternoon for going early on and helping us to establish a leaderboard, which I think is also going to help us to attract people. Once we've got some names on here and some scores and some stuff to beat, I think that's going to, increase the ego motive for coming in here and trying to win this. All right, bishop e3. Oh, did he just violate the bishop thing a second time? Well, you're going to do it once, you might as well do it twice, right? So, there you go. Indeed, JB. It can be a little bit of a sacrificial lamb to come in here during the preseason. That's why I offered everybody in the preseason the option to either be paid for their preseason appearance or to have a guaranteed reinvite during the regular season. By the time the regular season rolls around, with a prize fund like this and some big GM names already in the competition, I imagine we're going to have more people asking to play than we have time to invite people. He has successfully not castled. Let's highlight a victory for him in green here. And so it is a prize that I think is worth even more than a prize to have a guaranteed spot to return. So, and you guys can start thinking about who you would most like to see on the show one day, or who you think will eventually have the highest score of season one. Like, who do you think, if everyone possible came to play, who would be the absolute best at this competition? Who do you think would come out?
This is intentional blunder. I see rook b4, but I just simplify the position.
Wow. Sees rook b4, bishop c5. Just wants to get stuff off the board. Just wants to mow the pawn down to a1 and end this before he loses track of where a piece is or something like that. Blindfold has not been a real problem for him yet. Tafaska, there is a rule about the rating of the 3 people you play against over the 3 rounds. Each opponent has to be within a 400-point rating band. So it's pretty fairly or safely calibrated. I think somebody who's good at like blindfold would probably be somewhat, be in good position to compete on this show. Yeah, obviously this show, the payoff is already basically better than playing Entitled Tuesday, right? Because when you play Titled Tuesday, you've got whatever. Even if you're Hikaru, you only have like a 20% chance of winning Titled Tuesday or something, right? And yeah, there it is. Neiksans takes the 3rd game. And
actually that went easier than I thought. But my opponent blundered, but I forgot about this bishop move. That was a big,
Yeah.
oh no moment.
Well, that's the thing. Your opponent knew about the bishop not being able to capture his queen, so he left the queen on a4 on purpose. Yeah. So we'll count up your points here. I think you got the 550.
Okay.
Only violated the bishop. So we give you 550, put you up here on the leaderboard with 1350. How was the experience, Arturs?
I thought it was great. I mean, I hadn't practiced a blindfold for a long time, and I thought that this is easy. I should have played all of the games because I see a lot of the notations. Obviously, yeah. It helps me to remember, and at least if there's not something very weird, this game that I played, I knew this theory. This is a line I've studied, and I managed to trade off the knights, I was gonna trade off the queens. I was very happy after the opening because I cannot castle.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you just wanted to like go for a straight endgame and just sort of outplay your opponent in a rook endgame.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah. And so he played queen a4. I just grabbed the queen. It didn't even compute to me that I cannot take with the bishop. But okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, what's done is done. But I should have played all of the games blindfold. I realized that now I know. I know.
Yeah, you didn't seem to have any trouble with that. Well, everybody appreciates you coming in here early on in the season to establish the show. You know, some people have to go first, and it's harder to go first. So, you know, thank you very much for coming in and being one of these early participants. And if you'd like to come back in the regular season, we would love to see you take this on again with what you've learned here today. Everybody out there, I have one more time hit follow Grandmaster Neiksans. He's a wonderful person, a wonderful chess player, and a wonderful streamer, right? So 3 reasons that you guys can go follow his stream if you haven't already. Maybe many of you have already. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, you've got that. And anybody who sends any more donations in the next 1 or 2 minutes, we'll add them to this prize fund for the future. For the eventual winners of the preseason, and the gauntlet will be back in 1.5 hours. So episode 3 is coming up really soon. We're trying to fill out the leaderboard quickly. Arturs, how should I pronounce your last name? Neiksans.
It's okay. Neiksans, whatever. As long as you don't say nonsense, it's okay.
As long as I don't say Grandmaster Arturs nonsense. Okay.
Yeah. So don't say GM nonsense.
So the S should be, but the first S should be some kind of a sh.
Yeah, it should. But the reason I'm not using it because I don't want people to pronounce my last name wrongly. For example, like Neiksans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be Hans, so I just. Right. I just leave the S. It's pronounced as Esh. Yeah, in Latin language.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Let me ask you one question.
Sure.
One question. When you come back, having learned what you learned, feeling like you could go blindfold and get those 500 points in some of the rounds, what do you think an amazing score would be for the gauntlet? What would be like an amazing GM score?
Amazing GM score. I think it's at least 2,000 points, at least. Okay. I just realized that because, like I said, I should have went for the blindfold immediately. I hadn't practiced for a long time. And with a board, with the notation, this is easy. This is piece of cake. Unless there is not really a big mess coming. Mm-hmm. And so I would use this again. About the winning the 13 moves, I would be very cautious about that because that's a huge penalty. That's a huge penalty if I don't make it.
Yeah.
So I would be thinking about this. Bomb cloud is fine. King walking is, not castling is completely fine. I think I wouldn't use the queen takes the pawn because that's a very risky rule. And also the don't touch the center. I mean... So I would be using the blindfold combined with the bomb cloud or no castle or can't move the king. I think the difference is very little, to be honest. And combining obviously with the no and passant, pawn's only move is okay. And I think it's a very dangerous to pick trade every 6 moves. That's a very, very difficult rule to follow, especially in the start, and maybe even in the end game. We didn't get to the end game. Your play, let's say, a pawn end game, that's it. You're gonna trade, right?
Yeah.
So that could be nightmare.
I had a game, Arturs. I had a game in an end game where I queened, and I couldn't do it. Like, I already had the extra queen, you know, my opponent had like a king and a pawn, and I had a king, a queen, a knight, and a pawn, and I couldn't satisfy the 6 move captures because my king was like 5 steps away from their king. There was, I couldn't do it. I had time to think about it, and I could. So yeah, that's risky at the end. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. We love you.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Everybody
really
is thanking
it.
you.
Loved every minute.
And I look forward to working with you again anytime in the future.
Thank you. See you.
All right.
Okay.
Cheers, everybody. We'll see you again in an hour and a half.
Thank you. Bye-bye.